Hi, welcome. This is one of my favorite mornings of the year. I'm so happy to be back here. Haven't done it in a few years, that nasty COVID thing. Anyway, nice to see you all, and nice to meet you guys. I wouldn't go back and meet them before, because I feel like, you know, we could say something that's the best thing, and it's back there, so.
We're
look,
actors. We could reenact
I'm not. So I'll start with Aya. Aya Cash is currently in HBO's The Franchise, which is really terrific. And next year she'll star in an executive, I know, it's really good. And next year she'll star in and executive produce the much anticipated The Boys prequel called Vought Rising. Thank you. Her husband had to tell me 5 times how to say that. Vought Rising. She appeared in the Hulu series The Girl from Plainville with alongside Michelle Pfeiffer and The First Lady, and Welcome to Flatch, which damn them for canceling. Her major television credits include The Boys, which she won a Critics' Choice Super Award for, and Fosse Verdon, but also You're the Worst. I fought that show, but man, that show is hysterical. And if you haven't seen it, you should. Yeah, people kept telling me, girls kept telling me that it was great, 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 and I was like, I don't know. And then I just remember, like, episode 3, I was like, oh, this is smart and sexy and funny. So if you haven't watched it, it's like 5 seasons, I think. It's really good. I think you were first cast by my friend Ellen Lewis in The Wolf of Wall Street. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is great. If you could do this for me every morning.
Yeah, I'll follow you around.
Wow, I'm so successful.
That's my superpower. Amanda Seyfried is best known for her roles in Mank and The Dropout. If you haven't seen either one of them, they're incredible. My friend Tom Pelfrey was in Mank. Love him. As well as the beloved Mamma Mia series. My husband had never seen it. And at one point, we were watching, and he was like, oh, I know that group. I'm like, oh, my God, yeah. I first saw her, and I think maybe you did something before, but she was so amazing in Big Love, one of my favorite series. I rewatch it all the time. She was great. I know. She was in Mean Girls, Jennifer's Body, The Art of Racing in the Rain, Gone, Dear John, Les Miserables, and Big Love. So welcome to both of you. And thank you for coming and doing this on a Saturday morning after the award ceremony. On a Sunday morning, too. They do this because they say, who is going to get up Sunday morning after the award show? What are they going to want to see? Actors. So here we are. That's how this started. So I'm not going to embarrass you. One of my best friends did this with me one year. I'm not going to say who it is, but I was sitting between them. Never do that again. And I turned to the other guy and I said, are there any of his movies you wish you were in? And he rattled off every one of my friend's movies. He was like, I wish I had had that part. I wish I had done that. I love the way he did this. Then I turned to my friend and I saw it. He had no idea. He had no idea. So it was a great learning experience. I'm not going to do that to you two, but you guys are friends, right? Yeah. How'd you meet? Because you haven't worked together, right?
No. Through Tommy, my husband. When?
Is her mic on?
Years. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. I don't know, but we live like 4 minutes away from each other up here.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah, I was.
I already gave me the don't talk about
and
that
my
part.
address is.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not here, but like here in the world.
We both live in the United States near each other. Same.
And do you have kids, Aya?
Definitely not. But I love Amanda's kids.
Yeah,
so
my
that's
kids
helpful.
love. Really big time. You can have mine anytime. You know,
That's okay.
They're great.
I like being the one who comes in and out.
Yeah, the crazy aunt, it's the best. So I won't ask you which one of each other's work, but what are you both working on right now? Oh, it's now.
Wait,
forgot
I can't
it's
wait.
now.
Okay,
There's no
Amanda
work.
is working. She just got a big Paul Feig movie with this little unknown actress named Sydney Sweeney, right?
Yeah.
As if you could get 2 more beautiful blondes in a film.
Really? I didn't. Yeah, it's weird. I'm I'm gonna do that.
Gonna.
And right now I just finished a movie where we're in a merkin a lot, which I never got to do. So you can imagine that's gonna be fun.
Tell them what it is if they don't know.
A merkin is a wig for your genitals. But I just finished that. It was brutal, but it was a tiny, tiny movie. We had $0 to shoot it, but we did it.
But they had a lot of money for the Merkin, I bet.
We budgeted for that.
Yeah.
Because it was important. But it's one of those movies where you just there's freedom because there's no studio behind it. You know what I mean? Like you're just whatever the director wants, the director gets with consent from the actors, obviously. But I'm between jobs. And
No
you just
studio
worked-
behind it is my career path. So I feel, yes, I'm comfortable in the indie film world.
But you literally just got back yesterday from shooting.
What are you shooting?
Oh yeah. Oh, I did. I was in Reykjavik shooting a movie about Gorbachev and Reagan's sort of de-escalation of the. Am I boring everyone? Everyone's already like, all right.
No, there's a lot of Reagan fans here.
Yeah. No, it's. Yeah. So I was there playing sort of a Maureen Dowd type. That was fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so, what did you do during COVID and the strike? And
We don't talk about that.
yeah, I know.
It's traumatic.
It's traumatic.
No. What
I mean, we're both crafters, so I feel like we probably both did a lot of crafting during the strike and the COVID.
What kind of crafting? Knitting and.
I do pottery. Is this a secret? Am I outing something?
No.
Okay.
No. I know. I'm more fiber. She's more clay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But we're very, very committed to our hobbies.
Yeah. I
And
understand.
I think that makes us better artists, better actors, because we're artists in more ways than one, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think it makes us more sane. I think that being
That's
just
true.
an actor is. I just called myself sane, which is not a very sane thing to do. But I do think that having another art form outside of the art form that you are attempting to make money at is a very healthy thing to do. I now feel like I act in order to pay for my ceramics.
That's a great way to look at life. I have a lot of young friends, and they said that you're the worst, and Jennifer's body made them realize that you could be out of your mind and still have a full life. So, really, more than one of them mentioned that. I mean it. They're in their 20s, and they both said, those two things made them realize you could be crazy and still, like, tied to the earth. So what's it like playing those kind of roles? I mean, Jennifer's body was a while ago, but...
I can barely remember. But it would...
we could act it out for you.
Yeah, I love playing people who are going through the craziest circumstances imaginable because it's not happening. There are no stakes, so you're safe to go into that world and without. I mean, I don't bring my work home really. For whatever reason, over the years, I've been able to. I think I could be wrong. It's like saying you're sane. Like it's.
Yeah.
I think I've managed to not open that door between being on set and being in a character and then being home. Who knows? Maybe I've worked on that so long that I'm able to do that without thinking. But even when I was young, even when I was 20, 21, 22, I don't know. I was able to have so much fun and not have it traumatize my personal life. I don't know.
Even the dropout? There was something about that woman that was so scary.
Yeah, I didn't take it here. I was just sick of playing her. I was just sick of hearing about her. I was sick because her trial was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was sick of doing the voice. I was just sick of it. I had really tired of it, and because it was exhausting. But it didn't take away from my home life, personal life. I didn't have much of one actually, so I don't know. But I know that when I was done, and that was the first time I'd ever been like, nope, I can't talk about it. I've never shut something off like that because I've never. It's just.
Did it take a long time to film?
No, only like 4 months. Right? I mean, shows are now, they don't have any money to make anything
Right.
anymore, even if there is a studio. I don't know.
I know the industry is just haywire. And so talk about your new series that you're doing, the Boys prequel.
Oh, speaking of people with mental issues, we haven't started yet, so we'll probably shoot at some point next year. I have no idea, but it'll be set in the 1950s, and it's sort of like a noir with superheroes and Nazis. If you haven't seen it, I do play a Nazi, and I am not one in real life, and I'd like to make that announcement here. Thank you. Yeah, clap for the not a Nazi. That's so sad that that's the state of our world. But thank you.
I'm not a Nazi either.
Oh.
Yay.
How did that feel playing one for so long?
I mean, that was a long job. That was 9 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, mostly she's just playing a superhero with, you know, an attitude, and then she says horrible, horrible things sometimes. And it's about how do you find that like gross, ugly part of yourself that's not necessarily Nazi, but that is like wants power or feels like needs control over something. And so you sort of go into that side of yourself to try to connect to whatever it is that makes people lead with hate. And yeah, so it's like, I would say there are horrible, awful things in me, like most humans, hopefully. Remember when I said I was sane?
Right.
No, it's not, but that's the thing, it's not horrible, it's not horrible parts of us, it's the fearful parts of us that make us react in ways that we aren't proud of, and we all have it.
Yeah.
And acting for sure has made me more compassionate to people that I don't understand and I don't agree with. Thankfully, because we're in a place right now where you meet a lot of those people, and it's just like, you gotta have compassion for it. And so when you play people like that, it really, like, it definitely teaches us something, and for better, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and also just to see like what a relief certainty is. That like if we live in like paradox and in nuance, which is what real life is about, it's a much scarier place to be. But as soon as you have certainty of like, I'm this, like I can hate this group of people because then I know like good, evil, it's easier, right? And it's a much more challenging choice to live in the nuance. So you go to those parts of yourself that are attracted to like, I'd say certainty.
Yeah, good point.
Could you turn around and look at that? So every time I look at you two, there's that.
Wow.
I don't think the audience
so
could
nice
see it.
that they did my doll. That's
It's like there's a doll with like a tush or a penis. I don't know what's going on there. Right behind Aya's head. And so every time I glance up. So what have you had to learn for a part that you didn't know?
Recently, I had to learn the English horn. Do you know what that is?
The English what?
The English horn.
Oh, the English horn.
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
brass, it's wind.
Describe it.
It's a clarinet, but it's not. It's an oboe, but it isn't. And it's something that I didn't know still existed. But
So you had to learn to play it?
A little bit, yeah. And then they dubbed everything I learned. So I thought I had gotten to a point where I was like, you can use all of this. You believe that my character really has an affinity for this instrument and feels safe when she plays it. And they dubbed it so hard. And I was like, they even cut around my fingering, which is interesting, because it was right, it was correct.
I bet and
I'm like,
it was.
I did all this work to make it look like, to make the audience feel like I really knew what I was doing, because I really did know what I was doing. And
Okay. But the concert will be great when you give it.
I've already forgotten. but I did know it at a time, so.
I had to learn 1 week the song.
Go. Can you?
Go.
No.
Go ahead.
1 week since you looked at me. Nope, it's gone. I had to learn Spanish. I had to learn German. I had to but you know, you learn things like a song. Like I've had to speak other languages.
Is that still in your head? Because that stuff sticks.
Eines, du dich an den Tag, als vieren, but not all of it. But yeah, you learn languages like songs. I had to do ice skating for Girl from Plainville. And speaking of getting cut, so I did ice skating lessons, which was really fun. And they were going to introduce my character like on the rink, being like this incredible ice skating star. And then they decided not to do that. And I was like,
You had done all the work.
I had done just a couple lessons, but then I convinced them to do Zumba instead because it was cheaper. It was a money issue. And I was like, great, well, we can do Zumba because I'm a big Zumba fan. That's not a joke. That's just the truth. Because if you don't dance, like if you're not an actual dancer, but you don't want to feel terrible about yourself, go to a Zumba class because you're always in the middle because there's always a 90-year-old behind you just bouncing. There's anyway, I love Zumba, and they are sponsoring next year's festival, so thank you, Zumba. I don't know how I got on that tangent. The Zumba got cut too. That's the end of that story.
It did?
Yes, it did.
And so, have you directed, either one of you?
Amanda's too successful to direct. She's going to continue to work.
I wouldn't know what to do. What have you?
I've shadowed. So I've shadowed who you're about to work with. I shadowed Paul
Yes,
Feig.
right.
Yeah. So I've shadowed, like when you work on a TV show, one of the, like, not Nepo baby, but sort of Nepo baby, is the actors have access to the directors, so you get to shadow. And so I've shadowed a lot of shows that I've been on, half for just like understanding of set. I think it would be really great if like everybody got to shadow because it's such a different experience than being an actor who gets like walked to the bathroom and they listen to you pee. There's a difference between like being a shadow and being told to go to the wrong location, and it's not a big deal if you don't show up because you're just there to sort of witness.
It's free school.
Yeah, it's free school, and I would like to direct a couple things. I don't have ambitions to be a director, but I have a couple of projects that I feel passionate enough that I would like to direct. Yeah.
Do
Would
you write?
Never direct? No.
She doesn't look interested in it at all. No.
Well, it's like you're the puppeteer. No, thank you.
Right. Right.
I mean, I do in my own life, you know, with my
I
kids.
bet.
I don't control that. Never mind. You know what I mean?
You could try. It's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I know, but it does feel like it's just too much responsibility in general, and my brain probably wouldn't thrive.
Do you write, either one of you?
I sent my mother a chapbook of poems when I was 20, and she said I wasn't any good at 20 either. And that was the end of my writing career.
Oh, I have to remember that line. We moved into a house and it had a piano, and a piano teacher next door, and I said to Steve, it's Joni Mitchell, okay. And I took lessons every week, and I practiced every day. And after a year, the woman closed the lid, and she said, Martha, I'm sure there are things you're good at. You should go find them. I couldn't read the Duck song. I could not translate music to that. And so I was like, okay.
You don't need to read to play well.
I didn't play well. I just was really bad at it. So I went and found the things I'm better at. But I believe in failure. Like, I don't think being good at something is the goal. I think doing it well is the goal. So, but I was really bad at the piano. It was heartbreaking. I cried a lot, but I'm over it. It was a long time ago. But thank you, Amanda.
Do you think it's time to maybe whatever
No.
sit in front of it and just tinker?
No.
I believe it's the journey. If you enjoy it, you don't have to be good at it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
Oh.
That was the thing. I really didn't.
Why did you cry?
Because I thought like I was going to get over that, like there was going to be a moment of clarity, that I was going to say, oh, this is how it works, but there never was. So I'm good. So what, do you guys go thrifting together?
I'm not good at it, and I don't enjoy it.
She is. Look at her
But
shoes.
Aya is like
she bought her shoes at a vintage store.
You will scour and scour. Like you must get this bubbling excitement.
Yeah, I find it soothing. It's like my ASMR, I would say. Like some people watch videos of people just talking like this, but I go to Goodwill. Yes, everything's thrifted except my pants, which were too expensive. They're ripped. I mean, you just
bought
like
them
a
that
jerk
way.
buying
Did you?
expensive pants.
Did you buy them like that? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Every once in a while, there's a piece that you got to buy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're doing a service to the environment by thrifting because it is actually the thing to do.
Yeah.
And you did it first.
I did it first.
Well, probably
just 'cause of
second.
my age. I don't know. I mean,
No, you did it because you enjoyed it, and it happened to be something that like is actually really good for you. And you collected enough to then.
Yes, I've given lots away. I've dressed Amanda. Yeah.
So what do you guys, like, what kind of projects are you looking for? What kind of...
Who's in this room? Hi. Send me something. I feel like good is good. It doesn't really matter. Budget. I mean, so this movie that I just did, Reykjavik, it's the first time
That's the name of
filmmaker.
it, Reykjavik?
Yeah, it's a first-time filmmaker, and there's already a bonkers cast. But he wrote me this beautiful letter, and he said the casting director was like, "Good luck. You're not gonna." They paid nothing, but pay her nothing and have her fly to Reykjavik or whatever. She's not going to do it. I read the letter, and I said yes before I read the script, based on this letter, because it was just such a beautiful letter, and it was to be. We assume everybody is. If you've seen them in one thing, they're not. You can't get them, or you can't. But if you connect to somebody's art and you can express that connection, like people will show up for you. And not everybody at all times, but if I can, I will. And I thought the role was journalist, and I thought I was literally going to fly to Reykjavik and be like, Mr. Gorbachev, and that was it. And then I read it, and there was this great little character that felt very much based on what I love to do, and that feels very special. So even if it's a tiny, tiny role, like I'm so happy to show up when somebody is excited and can express like what they connect to in my art, because it usually means that I'll connect to them in their art, and I will stop saying my art and their art because it makes me feel gross. But you know what I'm saying? That's real. That connection is real. What about you? What gets you? Our art. What gets you to do a job?
With me, geographical location.
That's honest.
It used to be because I have a lot of anxiety with my kids leaving them, but honestly, I have like my own issues separate from my art that I've been contending with for years now, and I recently took a job that took me to Budapest, a place I never thought I'd go. Like, everybody shoots in Budapest. I'm not gonna be one of those people. I just won't do it. Life's too short. And then my girlfriend was directing this beautiful The Merkin movie. Really beautiful. That's not really.
Is that what it's called?
No. It's,
Everybody would go to see it if it was called The Merkin.
I mean, listen, that's how I'm gonna market it. Because we need people in seats. It's actually called The Woman Clothed by the Sun, and it's about the beginning of the Shaker movement. I play Anne Lee in the 1770s, and it's one of the most incredible scripts I've ever read, and it's a musical as well. It's very abstract, it's very special, which is why we didn't get any money to do it. And I was like, that made me go to Budapest, and I took my family and my 15-year-old dog, because that script and that passion and that certainty that Mona, the director, had just brought me there, and it was a lot of sacrifice actually, between like just family stuff, and so I went. But normally it's like, we're ready to shoot in Jersey. Okay, yeah, I'm there. Like, if this Paul movie shot in LA, it wouldn't have been a for sure thing, because my kids go to school in New York. Not saying where, but they do. And it's like, it's just one of those things, it's like life's too short, but actually life's too short to pass up an opportunity like the movie I just did, playing Anne Lee. I hope
She wears a merkin? I'm so confused.
no, she
does.
I imagine back then they didn't remove the gloves.
I'm embarrassed to say that I wrote a book about it,
But I wrote a piece for Cosmo, and somebody called and said, we want a book about this. And it really wasn't a book. It was this long magazine story, but they marketed it as a book, and so I sold it as a book. And, like, hair removal, I think every bad decision I ever made started with hair removal. That's all I could say.
That is such a quote.
Yeah. I hope
Oh,
that's
damn.
the pull quote from all of this, in fact.
Every bad decision I made
Started with
Hair removal. So,
Wait, but really quick.
no, I'm not.
No, just give us like the log line. Like, is it just about the history of hair removal?
No, the book I wrote,
Yeah.
it's the woman who brought Brazilian wax to America, Johnny J. from the J Sisters. And it's her view of what hair removal is. And truthfully, I find it really kind of offensive. But the money was so good, I did it. And then we got like a huge advance and a huge publicity. And then she called me 5 days later and was very noisy. She doesn't speak English very well. I was like, where are you? She said, at the airport. I said, where are you going? She said, I'm moving home to Brazil. So it was like, done, done, done. Like they didn't want to do the publicity without her. So it was great.
Yeah,
So I got
it's
them-
amazing how much like we've gotten used to that idea too. That like when I did The Boys, there was a sex scene, and my character's 100 years old, and so I requested like a big full bush, and people. It took like 7 fittings for them to understand what pubic hair.
And it
looked
still
like.
wasn't right.
No, it looked like a small child was going
That's
down
what
on
I'm
me.
s- that's-
I mean, I was like, what? Why is it here?
This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm embarrassed, because I sort of feel like this piece I wrote for Cosmo was supposed to be a joke, but everybody took it seriously. It was like I had one stray hair and people were like, you better get that waxed. And I was like, I don't think so. Anyway, please, can we not talk about this anymore? I'm sorry.
How did
And
they
in the
see the stray hair?
Q&A, come up with your Merkin questions.
Amanda's just giving me the look, man.
No, I just want to know how they saw the stray hair.
I was at the beach with my friends, and
Oh, the beach.
yeah, I was at, and somebody said, oh, you should get that waxed. I said, I have one blonde hair, I have to get that waxed. And they were like, yeah. And so I started thinking about it, and I pitched it to Cosmo as sort of a joke. And I wrote this piece and wound up selling a book because people are obsessed with it. Obsessed with it.
It's a conversation. It's a cultural conversation.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I get
And
why you did
so
it.
I like called friends of mine, young friends. I was like, "Do you manscape?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you." And it's just insane. It's insane how much time people spend taking away hair from where it normally grows.
Well, how can we hate ourselves so that we buy more shit?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
the American way.
Exactly. So that's why I say I'm embarrassed about it. But right now I'm not embarrassed because I'm not looking at the audience. I'm just looking at you two. But when we have to do the Q&A, I'm going to turn red. I could tell. Okay, so tell me a dream project. Like if you could, would you work together? Is that like one of your dreams? Yeah, who's going to... Michael, I know you're out there. Michael's sitting,
Christopher.
he's sitting right there.
Michael Christopher.
He could write a nice piece for these
Also
two
the
beauties.
officiant at my wedding. And Shop It Changes, Lou.
Exactly.
Big fan.
Exactly.
I mean, like an amazing writer, director, that's really what always is the dream. I don't have like a specific goal anymore. The fact that I'm not a waitress feels like a big win. And so, like, working with people that I love on projects that where you're seen, it's that letter. Like, I was like, oh, all I really want to do is be valued. I mean, as basic
Right.
as that is. I want someone who's like, let's do things that you don't think you can do. So, you know, great Annie Baker, Bruce Norris. I mean, you know, great writers and great directors. That's it.
Amanda, what was it like after Mamma Mia? Were people stopping you in the street or?
that started after Mean Girls, and kids would be like, "Can you tell us when it's raining?" And then I don't remember. Yeah, Mamma Mia Mamma Mia was a huge get for me, and it changed my life. But I still didn't get. Yeah. They stopped me and said, yeah. It was more. In LA, you know, and it's all about where you live. But I did notice that kind of I did have that recognition, and I realized I was no longer completely I didn't have a completely private, anonymous life anymore. Really, that's when it really hit. But it wasn't. I mean, you can fuel that.
Yeah.
You have the power to. A lot of us. I'm not speaking for like superstars. I'm speaking for like actors who are in popular movies. It's like you can, if you want more.
Put on the hat and get on the subway.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was fun, and it got me a lot of other work.
Right. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, and then there's people, and you know what's funny? Like there's a lot of actors that get offended when someone comes up to them and says, "Oh my God, I just loved you in this," because it was the thing that people always talk about. But I always think that like, well, thank God for that movie. So like, I'm so sorry, but I really loved you in Mamma Mia, and I'm like, I don't know why you're sorry. Like, thank you for valuing the movie, you know what I mean? It's like validation in that way is always welcomed.
What about you, Aya? Do people come up to you and talk to you as if you're the worst?
Yeah,
Or the
well,
boy?
that's always such a nice interaction. And like, I've really learned that there's a difference between online space and reality.
Right.
And I feel like we could all learn that lesson more. But being on a TV show and having on The Boys, where I got a lot of like death threats and hate, I was so scared. And then all of my interactions in person have been so positive and so beautiful. And I feel like I was like, oh, I don't have to believe in that. Like, whatever's going on online, people are enacting some weird, crazy shit for whatever reason. But in person, it's always lovely. And I don't have kids, right? That's a very different experience. Like, if you're out with your kids, like, I would understand somebody not wanting to be approached.
Yeah, I've seen Amanda out with her kids. I'm not going to say where, many times. And I don't even make eye contact with you. I'm like, leaving that one alone. Because you're out with your kids, and you should have that time to be alone. But I have seen people approach you. No, I'm always like, don't.
It is a gift, though, isn't it? Don't you think, Amanda? Like, do you feel? I feel like there is a certain kind of attention that, like, the biggest gift you can give to someone is anonymity when they're out with their family or feels like. Then you get to sort of be in your own space. Yeah, normalcy. So I think that's also nice too. But if you feel, again, like anything genuine, like a genuine love of someone's work is always appreciated. There's a difference between like, oh my God, I know you from somewhere.
Right.
Tell me what you were in. Oh my God, you're on TV. That's a different thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, TV is a different thing, don't you think?
It's a different audience, right? Well, not anymore, actually. TV.
Not
movies are the
anymore, but
same.
like it used to be that you watch TV at home in an intimate way, and so you'd see somebody, you'd be like, hey, Aidan Quinn's one of my best friends, and we walk at the reservoir a lot, and it's hysterical. People come over and they go, did I go to high school with you? And he's like, maybe, because they feel like they know him so well. But now we watch everything in our pajamas. Some of us do.
I know, it's like do we know each other? I'm like,
Right.
I get that a lot. And then when they're like, you look like that actress, I was like, Dakota Fanning. And it used to work back in the day. It totally worked. They're like, yeah. I'm like, I get that a lot. Unless you ask, are you Amanda Seyfried? I'll be like, yeah, I am. Yes. I cannot tell a lie. But if you give me the option to walk away, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
But I will say the nicest thing is when someone comes up to me and says, hey, I just want to say I really like your work. Thank you. And then they walk away. You didn't want anything from me? You just wanted to share that with me? You didn't want a picture? And if you want a picture, sure, I'll give you a picture. but it feels like you're getting that to like use to, not necessarily. I'm just saying there's like a.
Now she's embarrassed because people are going to want pictures after, and she's
That's not
sorry.
it. No, yeah, but I mean, it's fine, and I'm totally game. But really, the best, purest thing in the world is like, and I have those every once in a while, and it's like, oh, awesome. I wish I could, compliment them on something, but like, I don't know.
Your cooking's terrific.
You must be really good at
Something.
watching movies, and thank you for that.
Should we open it up to the audience, and then we can come? I know what time it is, but we can do some Q&A and then come back. Yeah. They're going to pass you a mic. I can also repeat the questions, however you want to do it. I know, but they want it for the film.
Oh, got you. Yes. Correct.
Yeah, for the
It's on.
recording. Okay. I'm a screenwriter, and when you guys are reading a script, do you prefer, like, on the page that we describe the Merkins? Or, no, I'm sorry. Attempted callback. But when you're, like, evaluating a script, are there things you look for, or red flags, like, ooh, this isn't promising, like dialogue-wise, or like just things that you notice in scripts that you might pass on, or things that really grab you and say, ooh, I want to be in this project?
I've got a big red flag for scripts, which is anything that's like, she's beautiful but doesn't know it. Like, and you're laughing. That's constant. I mean, there in the early days before Twitter became a trash fire, there was an account that compiled all the descriptions of women, and there's like 95% of them describe something about their incredible beauty, and then usually, but with glasses, or, insanely beautiful, but wears no makeup. And
Don't look at me when you say that.
yeah, so those are red flags. Like, I almost would prefer no description, like, let me see what's in the character, but I do hear that, like, executives and things like a little bit of description, so I understand that, but just anything about a specific type of beauty really, like, turns me off.
Yeah, it's it's becoming pretty obvious to me as I get older and read more scripts. I'm not, as I'm whatever. I've noticed that some scripts are written for executives, and some of them are written for artists and actors, and I also I don't want to. I personally cannot stand being told the kind of look actors are giving each other in the moment, in the scenes. Like when every scene has to have something big happen in it, that's when I'm like, no, this isn't real. This is not how people talk. Like, you can have scenes between scenes that don't have some magic word, or that lead to the next scene. Like, it's just, everything is so, I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's so frustrating, because I'm like, where are the humans in this? Like, why does everything have to have a point to every scene? And I understand that a lot of television is written that way because we don't have much time. We have 43 minutes or whatever. But I just want to see breathing room. I want to feel like there's space in the script for me to do what I do. Not to say that they ad-lib here. That's not what I mean. It's just tell the story. The characters are having dialogue. But I don't know. Just I don't see a lot of space in these scripts anymore. And I feel like a lot of it's the dialogue's written by AI because AI exists, and it might just be my fear of that. But I don't know. I'm it's frustrating because also everything's a rewrite of something else.
But watch my prequel, please.
Oh yeah, I got a show coming out in January. Not like that at all. Beautiful, really is something.
Yeah. They're going to bring you the mics. Just hang with us. They're coming to you in the green shirt after.
I wanted to ask, I'm a writer-director, and I do a little acting, and I know, nowadays, especially, you said it's hard to like separate reality from online, and sometimes I struggle with like such imposter syndrome and like days where this is like, you know, the job totally overpowers like the art and the love of doing it. And I just wondered if like you had ever struggled with any of that, and just like how you confront that on like job by job or on a daily basis, so that you can keep doing your work and not get totally paralyzed by like everything else. I guess that goes with
Can I say something? I teach writing. I have yet to meet the male who believes in imposter syndrome. I'm not kidding, and a lot of them should. So part of that is just being female, really. And so that part you should try to shake away, because I'm not kidding. I used to teach men and women, but I only teach women now because I have had it with that. But I have never had a male student say, I don't know if I'm a good writer. Never. So part of that is being female here in this time and in America. So that's all I have to say about that. But they have other things. But talk about that.
You know, this is, I'm sure you've heard of this or maybe even done this, but like, the artist's way has like helped me so much in my life, because it's like we ascribe value to different things in our culture, and like being an artist is a weird thing where like you don't always get paid for it. And then I would feel embarrassed to call myself an artist, or like, I don't know if I'm any good yet because nobody else is hiring me. Like, we're dependent. It's a collaborative art form that we're in, right? Even though you can go write things, like you want to get them made. And doing the artist's way for me was like so good to just like be like, no, I get to call myself a fucking artist. I get to feel like an artist. I get to live my life like an artist, whether or not I'm making a living at it at the moment. And then when you make a living at it, like, spoiler alert, like it doesn't fix that either, and it almost warps like that beautiful thing that made you want to do it in the first place sometimes. Like, you get stuck on a job, and it's a job. And just like the rest of the world, we have to have jobs. Like, get over yourself if you feel like, oh, everything needs to be perfectly beautiful art. But how do you protect that part of yourself so that you can still feel creative? So it's just about like, how do you live a creative life? And then you can feel like you can own that and share with people. That's my advice. And also replace the word God in the artist's way, because I think that's such a strange thing that she's like, you can use God or another word. And I was like, as soon as you say God, it's very hard to get that one out of your head. But if you just do the workbook, it doesn't matter if you believe in a God or not. I'll just say that.
I struggle with imposter syndrome all the time. It's just, and I don't know if it'll ever go away, and maybe that's part of the beauty of being an artist or being a human, is that you never feel like you've cracked the code to, that confidence. I don't know, because some days I have it, sometimes I don't, and it literally depends on hormones or the sun or what I ate. It's never going to go away. And
I also think we should switch it up and start thinking of it
Calling
as a
it something else,
superpower.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because like whether it's a female-centered thing or not, like the ability to like have the possibility that you're wrong is actually really important in life, right? So it's okay to have questions or feel like I don't know if I'm good, or that's actually where the art lives. So it's okay to feel that way.
And sometimes I'm just like, I love doing this. And that's it. And then I feel better.
Yeah, telling yourself you're happy makes you happier. That's clearly true.
I love this.
I have found. And that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man in the green shirt. They're going to bring you a mic.
He didn't even have a question.
He did. He had his hand up. He had his hand up, and
Thank you.
I'm just going to call on you guys, so be ready.
I'm the man in a green shirt. Amanda, I wanted to ask you, one movie of yours that wasn't mentioned that I really liked was Fathers and Daughters. And it just had a great cast. And I wanted you to speak about that movie and the experience of making that movie, and maybe a little bit about Russell Crowe, who you've been in a couple of movies with, too. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, no, beautiful movie. Gabriele Muccino directed and wrote. It just, that relationship between a father and daughter. It's for me, for probably most people, it's ripe with experience and nuance. And I think it was captured really beautifully in two different. It's past a young version of myself with Russell Crowe, and then it's present day with me as a 20-something-year-old struggling with the loss of her father, and I don't know. My experience doing that movie was the first of its kind for me. It was the first time I really got to go somewhere a little bit deeper than I'm used to, with a really good director. And I didn't work with Russell at all in that movie, which is so funny because when you watch it back, it really does feel like we were together the whole time, and that's really hard to do. Oh, man, I can't speak eloquently about it because I'm like going back into my mind, but I had to do some things and go some places where I never had to go, and it was really cathartic. And like, did I bring it home with me? Did it traumatize me afterwards? Did I have to like sit and like really with my therapist and really work through things? No, because I kind of do it on set, and I don't know. It just it made me feel like a better actor when I had done that movie, because it was so beautifully written. I had to like do some really tough stuff and say some really tough stuff and like break down a lot. And it felt like the first real adult project that I'd done, which is funny because it was probably even after I did Chloe, which I thought was like, oh, I'm gonna blow people's minds with this. Like, I am no longer this person. I am this person now. I'm subversive. I can do this. Like, it was a very, anyway. Did that make any sense? Thanks for talking about it. I sometimes forget, experiences, but it's nice to be reminded of things that are really beautiful for me as an artist. But yeah, Russell and I, like two ships passing in the night.
How old were you when you started in the business? Young, right?
Yeah, I had my first role. Oh boy, was I bad. When I was 15, in a soap opera, which is how most of us get our start. You didn't, though.
Hot people get their start in soap operas.
I wouldn't. I didn't feel hot then, and I look back and I think, whew.
You were in two soap operas, weren't you?
I was, but the first one, they
cut you.
Oh, big time. I still have a lot of feelings for that little girl, because like I was young.
Yeah.
The industry is
Brutal.
tough,
Brutal.
but we survive, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of my friends are actors, and just watching them get so excited about a role and not get it, and then talk themselves out of it and then get it. That's my favorite thing. They're like, I didn't want that part. It sucks. Director's an asshole. I got it. It's fantastic. Like, he's great, right? Great. Yeah. Yeah. They want you to get the mic. No, they want you to get the mic because they're recording it. And I'm a team player.
Thank you. You mentioned Reykjavik, and can I assume that you filmed at the Harpa Center?
We actually, we shot at the Blue Lagoon. I was only there a couple days. This is a small part that I have in this movie. So we were at the Blue Lagoon, and then, and I can't remember.
But then that led me to think of a question, which is for both of you. Can you recall the most beautiful place that you've ever shot? Because as a photographer, I'm always looking at location.
I mean, the answer is the Blue Lagoon, so it was rather boring. But yeah, no, and I took photos there, and I was like, I'm an amazing photographer, because it's just stunningly beautiful, and there's ambiance and steam, and That's the best place I've ever been.
Yeah, I would say Greece. Like, what? On a boat? Going to work on a boat with these... Just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lucky. Our jobs take us these random places. Oh,
I was going to
the
ask.
shoe just
I
dropped.
was going to ask about the worst, but I think I better not.
What?
I was going to ask about the worst places you've ever shot, but I think I should avoid that question.
But I will say, indie filmmakers, they sent me to the Blue Lagoon Spa when I wrapped, and I have to. It was just like such a crazy, wonderful gift to have, of and I think that's a good trick too, is bribery.
Wait, were you there when we saw the Northern Lights?
I was in London when the Northern Lights were here, but I did see the Northern Lights in Ireland. Yep.
And Iceland?
Geography, Iceland. Yes.
You need to use your microphone.
Sorry, we saw the Northern Lights here.
The other night.
And you weren't here.
No, I wasn't.
But you were in Iceland very shortly thereafter.
Correct. We have
Seeing
the
the Northern
timeline
Lights.
correct. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we were so lucky the other night. We've seen, the sky is just like totally fucking with us. First the Northern Lights, then the comet, then this crazy moon last night. It's just amazing. We're so lucky up here.
Yeah, the soup. What was it?
It's a harvest moon, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. My husband's taken like a ton of astrology classes, and this is what he says. Look, there's Venus. Oh, wait, is that Mars? No, it's definitely Jupiter.
What?
No. He's just dyslexic, and like they fed him a lot of information. And so it's one of our jokes among all of our friends. We call him a rocket scientist. He's like, it's definitely Mars, because it's red. Oh, wait, it's yellow. Oh, so it's definitely not. It's Pluto. And he just like talks and talks.
He sounds like my son. Last night he was like, I see Venus. No, it's Saturn.
It was definitely Venus last night. Yeah.
Sounds like a man. He sounds certain, even
Yeah,
when
exactly.
wrong.
Exactly. You know my husband? Yeah. Go ahead, the blue shirt. I can't see. Yes. Ponytail is what I meant.
Yes. Hello. I'm a longtime indie producer. I'm trying to get brave enough to direct a short film, and so I've been asking actors what you find particularly helpful or unhelpful from a director.
Go ahead, honey.
Certainty.
Uncertainty.
A little of both at the same time.
No, the ability to be wrong and to like, but also confidence is important.
Yeah.
Sure.
Here's an anecdote. I was in Budapest, and my family had just left, and I had 2 more weeks without them, and I started living with Mona, my director, and I would wake up we would be shooting late, starting like splits or like night shoots, or it was the weekend, and I would wake up and she'd have the coffee, French press, and a candle lit and a speaker on, some kind of like old Cap Hauer, and she would be making her shot lists for the day. And I was like, this is exactly what I want. It was not the candles and the coffee is fine, like you take it or leave it. But I was like, this person is in a calm space. She's fucking centered. Granted, we've been working on this movie for 4 weeks already, so. And she's working on her shot lists because you gotta know how you wanna shoot the movie before you get on set. The pure vision, the unwavering commitment to like getting what you want, the shot that you want, when you want it, is so beautiful. And you could be wrong, and that'll hit you in the editing room, but like, it's okay to be wrong, but it's okay to know like how you want it to feel and how you want it to be shot and what you want to see. It's just like I worked with a director who it was her first job years ago, a dear friend of mine, and she had never shot a movie in her life, and she really worked so beautifully with our DP, and she had no idea what she was doing, but she knew how she wanted people to feel, and she knew what she wanted to see, and when she wanted to see it, and honestly, that was all she fucking needed. Does that make any sense, or am I completely contradicting myself?
No, it's being calm and is what you want the
Knowing what you want to
captain
see and how you want to feel. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, if you want to see everything that's happening around these people as they're having conversation in a wide the whole time, that's what you want. So get it. Get some coverage just in case. But like, if that's what you want, you know how you want to tell the story. And if you don't do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think all actors have kind of different answers. There's a great podcast called Let's Shoot with Pete Chapman, and he talks to a lot of different directors and editors and actors, and I like that because you also just hear, sometimes you forget, like, oh, everybody just works differently. And I think, like, finding the way that you work that feels the most creative is people will respond to that. And then you have to talk to different people differently, which is, it's a little bit of a psychology game. Like, I know actors, if you tell them faster, they'll be like, fuck you. Like, why? I don't want to hear why. I feel like that's my job. Tell me faster, I'm going to figure out why I need to speak faster. And that's the fun part for me. That I don't want to hear your reasons why, because that may not connect for me. And some actors absolutely need to be told why, or they won't do it. So it's about communication, and it's also about... A bug just attacked someone in the second row. It's a ladybug. Just pretend it's a ladybug. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Did you get stung?
Let's all keep an eye on her for the next 15 minutes, yeah?
Did you get stung?
Are you kidding?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Who's in charge in this room?
Yeah,
Somebody
don't be
suck
brave.
it
You're
out.
missing nothing
Do you
here.
have anybody that will suck it out?
Amanda?
No, I'm not kidding. Suck it out. It's all venom. No, everything is something that's...
Kitty, you've been my friend. Have I ever asked you to do that?
Suck it out. Suck it out.
All right, let us know how she is.
Suck it out.
Amanda is offering to suck it out if you want to come to the front of the stage.
It really does help. There's this thing, there's an actual thing that you put on mosquito bites or bug bites. Suck it out.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's around your head.
It's in your head. It's in your head. Just no, go. Jesus Christ. I thought they die after they sting.
Okay. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's definitely going to come sting me, but
Well, I think
Okay.
if it stings one person, isn't it dead?
it stung that woman, so it should be dead, but it's not. So that proves that our theories are all wrong. Okay, everybody all right? Okay, who's speaking here?
I don't know. Do we have any other questions? I lost the...
Yes, hold on. Hold on, we need a mic over here.
I think we gotta go. We should go.
We should go?
Yeah,
Is it back here now?
I'm not freaked out by these. Are you? No, I'm not at all.
Oh,
That guy's gonna die soon.
we have a bee spotter?
But if it comes on me, I'm killing it. So,
Okay.
so
If it
don't.
comes on you, I'll let you know.
You'll suck it out.
I'll suck it out.
Excuse us.
That's okay. Okay, so first of all, I'm on the board of the Woodstock Film Festival, and I want to really thank both of you for being here. The festival needs, more actors and really anybody in the industry who can seriously participate and, lend to the conversation. I've also been an independent film producer for 25 years, and I've been fortunate enough to make, about 15 films. My question is, and I've been doing this for a long time, in terms of getting material to talent, right? What is your relationship like with your agent? I mean, do you feel like you get, everything that you should be getting? Because I've seen, some agents are really kind of gatekeepers. Some have a more, I guess, better rapport with their clients in terms of getting material. So that's, what I find speaking to some of my colleagues is that's, sometimes the hardest part, really. I mean, I've had a friend at a major agency. He was a big director. The agency had a big actor that he wanted to get, and internally, one never got to the other. So just curious about your working relationships with your agents.
I have
Thank you.
advice for any filmmakers who want to get to certain actors. Try to get to them around their agent.
Around it. Not through their agent, but around.
No, or just try to like follow the breadcrumbs, like 6 degrees of separation, right? Like just this person might know this person, or I honestly, because that's how I do it. Like if if I want somebody for something.
No, look, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I've done it the same way.
Yeah.
I made a film where I've known Steve Buscemi for like 20 years. And, I called him about 2 years ago, really for the first time, to ask him to do something together. And then when I called his manager, hey, Steve asked me to call you. So yeah, I totally believe the 6 degrees of separation thing. But I'm also just curious, like I've seen some actors who are sometimes afraid of their agents, will insist that they do not do a project. And then when it actually sometimes gets to the talent, the talent loves to do it. So just curious about your thoughts on that.
I think the problem is also that, I think the right way is to go around the agent, and yet that also creates a big issue, right? If you're a first-time filmmaker and you don't have connections in this industry, suddenly you're at a big disadvantage because, you'd think that the agents... I have said specific to my agent when I've missed projects and I found out about it, that can never happen again. Because I like to read everything, and if I have to pass, I have to pass. Sometimes it's for our comfort level. Like, it sucks to say no to people, and you have to say no because of schedule, because maybe you've just worked on something you feel like, oh, I've already done this part, for whatever reason, or you don't respond to the material. And so they don't want to make you say no, right? So they'll just kind of pass for you. But I ask specifically to see everything, and if I get wind that I have not seen something, I'm contacting them and saying, where is this project? I would like to read it, even if it's an easy pass, as they say.
Oh, we don't do follow-ups. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd rather have a quick no from the agent than an indefinite maybe.
Sure. No, and you try to read quickly and,
How's the bee situation? Is it behind us? Okay.
Did someone suck it out?
That woman is not back, I will remind you all. Somebody in the back there needs a mic. Oh, he is a bee situation. Oh, it's the woman. She seems okay. Thank you. Yay. This is like we're on a plane. This is like we're on a plane back from Europe, and there's been an incident, and we all want the woman to be okay, but we also want to get back to New York. So thank you for sitting down. Has that ever happened? It's happened to me. Like, okay, sorry, but like, let's go. That's just me, though. You've done big movies, right? I mean, Mank was a big movie. No?
Budget-wise?
Yeah. I mean, Mamma Mia.
Probably,
Mank.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And so what's the best perk of that? Of working on a movie where there is money and there is time and...
Time. Mm-hmm. The time is the best perk. You can shoot one scene for an entire week.
Nobody rushes Meryl, is that what you mean?
Pretty much. It's like, no, yeah, everybody's always rushing. I mean, you can see that in her show, The Franchise, like everybody's rushing to get stuff done, but nothing gets done. And, they have another day. And it's just like, we're always rushing to do nothing sometimes. And that's what it feels like on a big studio movie. It's like, you have the luxury of time. It really is just that. It doesn't mean that the food's going to be any better or,
Right.
Is
that bee there? Stop it.
But the light, no, it's fine. It's bigger than a bee. It's something else.
You're lucky you're alive. Let me just say. We're lucky you're alive.
But it's so funny. Like,
The Franchise is about like a big budget, like action thing. And so it sort of does describe like the
superhero
difference.
movie.
Yeah. What's that like, shooting that?
It's great. It was very confusing because before we got to know everyone's name, you couldn't tell who was playing crew and who was actual crew. For real. Like I asked again, Nepo, But I asked to shadow Sam Mendes, who was directing the pilot, just for he was doing oneers for one day, and I'm barely in the pilot because I sort of come in at the end, and I'm the new producer. And so I said to production, I was like, can I come watch? And they said, absolutely. So I came in, first asked, they call them runners, or PAs, because we were shooting in England. And I asked someone, I was like, so where's Video Village? And they were like, I'm an SA, a supporting actor, background actor. And I was like, great, okay, so who am I talking to? And then I finally found the actual PA, who then brought me to Video Village and sat me down, and I'm watching the shot, and it's not the shot that they're shooting. And I'm realizing they sat me in the Video Village that is the fake Video Village of the movie. And I'm actually not supposed to be in the show yet. So if they catch me on camera, we're in deep shit. So I'm like trying to figure out a way to sneak from the fake Video Village and find the real Video Village. This is day one of the pilot. So yeah, it's confusing. And then you learn everyone's name, and then you know who's who. And they changed the lanyard color so that you could figure out who was
that's genius.
who. Yeah, but it's great to be on something that's behind the scenes, because it is all the chaos that we all know and that the audience never gets to see. So it's been really fun. And all the people who like actually do all the work versus us who get to sort of be like, yeah,
That's
we made
why
this movie.
Yeah, that's why we love hospital shows and cop shows, because we get to see the nurses and the desk people.
That's why I love playing those people, because
Yeah.
I get to learn so much. And I mean, because I'm never really going to be a cop. So
You're not?
I don't.
I'm never really
that
going to be a
happening.
piano player.
Yeah. So like, play one.
Yeah, exactly.
Write about one.
Exactly. They're going to come with you, with the mic.
Actually, I have a funny question leading off of that. Like, what's the coolest thing that you guys had to learn for a part?
I asked that already, but I think you asked it better, so go ahead. Coolest.
Air horn. Air horn? What was yours?
No, English horn.
English air horn.
It's not really there, but I really learned how to play it.
Yeah, different languages, I think, was my answer. All right, you guys are done? We can...
No, they're not.
I had to
Michael's
jump off a cliff.
back there. Michael's got a question. And the guy behind him and the guy in front of him.
Question. I just have a comment because I've been stewing for the last 40 minutes. To my friend Martha, if you think that imposter syndrome and insecurity is peculiar to women, I say with loving kindness, you are full of shit.
Okay. All right, I hear you, Michael.
Thank
All right.
you. I know we all need to talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, about
I bow to that. I bow to that. I'm okay. Here's the thing. I find it annoying that women constantly do it. Men don't constantly do it, but they probably feel it. They just don't mouth it as much. So,
They're just better performers of
Yeah.
confidence.
but thank you, Michael. Don't be mad at me. The guy behind him needs a mic. I was hoping you were mad at Amanda or Aya, but me.
Thank you so much for being here, Amanda and Aya. I had a question about how you handle disagreements on set. So if you come to set with like an idea of, oh, this character is like this, or this scene is going to be like this, and then another actor or the director kind of has like a different vision, how do you work through that? Working through disagreements in general, I guess, on set.
There's a difference between a creative disagreement, I would say. Like, there are certain disagreements I thought you were going to ask, and I was like, I've got stories. But no, it's a creative question. I feel like, for me, if you're not willing to change everything the moment you get to set, then, like, you're kind of doing it wrong. Like, you can have all the ideas in the world, but, like, then you get there, and if you hold too tightly to those things, you're going to end up screwing it up or being stiff or not reacting to what's happening. And like, for me, what I actually truly love about what we do is the collaboration. So I can have a strong opinion or a strong idea, and make my case for that. But if I don't have the ability to shift and to see a different view, then like I feel like I'm not going to do my job well. So I think it's about like flexibility. And again, I just keep saying, like, the ability to think I could be wrong and somebody might have a better idea. It doesn't mean you don't fight for your vision, but that you're also open to everybody else's. Otherwise, why are you making movies? Why aren't you doing just one-woman shows?
Sometimes if I don't agree with what the directors, this doesn't happen very often, but sometimes if I don't agree at all with what they're saying, or if I know for sure that they're not sure and they are directing me in a way that doesn't make any sense at all, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And then they'll probably at some point think that I've done what they wanted. It's true. It's like if I'm stumped, like I will, again, be flexible. I will bend every which way I can bend. But if they're still coming to me and they're like, yeah, but can we just, I mean, maybe if I truly don't understand and I've asked all the questions I could possibly ask and I still don't understand, then well, you know what I mean? I'm going to do something that they can do something with, hopefully. But like, I used to beat myself up over not understanding, or when I thought I'd get it, and they come back and be like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Like, be clearer, be better at your job, and I can be better at my job. You know what I mean? I've gotten to the point where like, that sounds really rude, and I won't say it, but I will feel it. And then I will do whatever I need to do to get through the scene, which is interesting way to be, but it's way more helpful for my sanity. And I realize that they always end up being like, we got it. And I'll be like, I changed nothing. I still don't get it what you want from me, but if you think you got it, then we got it. But it can be really frustrating, and especially like when we're shooting scenes for like a week at a time. Because you're just,
Are you
like,
saying
stuck in
Meryl
it.
was impossible? No, I'm kidding.
No, God, no. No, but there are sometimes when you're on set with another actor who, for whatever reason, bless them, is inflexible, and you're like, you can't do anything about it, and you know, you can only go do what you need to do and feel good about what you're doing, and like stay open to collaboration, even though one of the other people isn't. You're not going to get perfect actors, although I feel like we're lucky. We get to work with great people.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that one. I remember I did a movie called Mary Goes Round, Molly McGlynn, her first film, and she was like, so you're going to grab the letters and you're going to get in this tub. It was like a big red tub. And I was like, why am I getting in an empty tub to read these letters? And she was like, she couldn't give me an answer. We didn't do the shot. And after shadowing, I was like, get in the fucking tub, you brat. Like that, like it would have been a great shot. And sometimes like that has to be enough, but you have to build that trust with your director so that you know, like, get in the tub. Because sometimes you have no idea what's matching to what. And then in terms of actors, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm giving like a little more of the school answer. There are situations where you're like, yeah, I just want to support Amanda. But like sometimes you are like, okay, and do what you do again.
Yeah.
I just want to admit to that as well.
Well, because sometimes it's not always perfect. Not always a perfect dynamic. But usually there's less assholes these days, don't you feel?
There's less assholes?
Yeah. Well, because people who are assholes end up, their work ends up drying up because people don't have time for that anymore.
It's wonderful to hear.
I've noticed, like, there's this 6 people that I've seen over the years. They don't.
Me too, to death. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. I think there's a question over there. And also, Michael, how are we doing now? We good? Much better. Okay, good. Thank you.
Hi, I'm an upcoming film student. I'm still in high school. I just had a question of what you would say to people who want to go into the industry, like that are my age, and like how to get opportunities and stuff like that, if you have any advice. Thank you.
Oh God, I would just say find a set, get on it, do whatever you need to do. Get to network. It's like getting to know. I feel like just be nice and do things for people and learn everything you can learn. Keep your ears and eyes open and just keep do everything. Get as close as you can to the filmmakers as soon as you can. You say something better.
No,
That's great
I
advice.
think that was exactly the advice I was going to give.
Don't do anything illegal, but
yeah.
like, you know.
But also, like, people have such, I remember being young and being like, networking, ew, like, that's disgusting. Like, you know, networking is community. You're just building community. And if you're following your genuine interest and you're, like, if you're not just trying to be fame adjacent or adjacent to things that you think will get you things, if you're actually following, like, the people and the things that you're interested in, that's what you're doing, is you're building community. So if you can get on a set, that's it. And they are always looking for PAs. They're always looking for young people who can sleep a lot less, who can go, and don't put up with abuse. There's a difference between like doing everything you can and being treated like crap. But there's also, it's hard work, and it's just showing up and having a good attitude about that. And don't put up with bullshit.
The be nice part is good. It's a wonderful start. Yeah, there's a question here and then a question there, and then I think we're going to have to go. And then the question you're doing.
I have a question for Amanda. I just want to say, like, I admire your work so much, and I played Sophie in my high school Mamma Mia, and you were just such an inspiration to me. I'm just like start crying. I'm like, this is surreal for me. But I'm starting my first year of college. I was just like wondering, like, if you have any advice for like me, like pursuing like more of like a musical theater, singing, like acting career. I just wanted to, like, this is just crazy.
Congrats for starting college. Where did you go? Did you go to school locally?
Hudson Valley, if you know Cornwall.
Okay.
I went there. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm so glad people are still doing Mamma Mia. It makes me so happy. Ron Dowd did it a couple years ago, and I went to visit them to like during their rehearsal. Like, I like to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I love to hear that, and I don't know. I think it's good that you're in school. I think the fact that you're so close to New York City is a big deal, and you need to use that, and you need to be there, and you need to go to see shows, and you need to like continue, like every decision you make should be with that in mind, with your, you know, wanting to act and wanting to perform and wanting to be musical. I don't know how long you've been singing or
For a while, like probably like what, 15 years.
yeah,
crazy.
well then, you know what I mean? You've got it all. You've got all like the passion, and we got to make a lot of sacrifices to get to do what we want to do, and we all have different skill levels, but the fact that you're like so, you already played Sophie, which is you carried a show already in high school, which is a big deal, and you just need to like remember how much you love it and the fact that you've worked hard already, and you need to, I don't know luck plays such a big part.
Yeah.
And I will never deny that. You know, there are so many people that are so good at what they do and aren't working for whatever reason. But if you have a good support system and you believe in luck, but you also have to like really show up for yourself, then the imposter syndrome will come and go. You know, deal with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you suck. It just means that you're human. And get to know as many people as you can, like me.
Yeah.
And keep talking about it, and don't be afraid to come up to people and ask for advice, and just be a savage, you know, and be nice. Always, you know your worth, but also like know that, you know, you're one of many people who want to do what you want to do. So you just gotta like, I would keep going. Somebody stop me, but yeah. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
How's the bite lady doing? You okay? Great.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Woman in white here. And then, okay, him and then the woman in white, and then we'll stop.
Have you ever quit during a production? And if so, what brought you to that spot?
I was supposed to go to New Zealand once, and my flight was in like 2 days. And some dude, cast member, was fighting, our agents were fighting over literally where our names went in the credits. And I greenlit the movie, and he came in and was like, apparently, his agents were like, he's gonna win an Oscar this year. His name should be first. And I was like, fuck you. You're a man, I get it. And that's why this is gonna happen for you. You're gonna get to be first, and I've been a part of this movie for months, 6 months. And I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Because they wouldn't. Like, it was literally about a Laverne and Shirley thing. He wanted to share, or something. It was placement of names, and it meant everything to me, because I was like, this is how this whole production is going to go. I'm going to go to New Zealand, and then he's going to be the star. He's going to, I don't know. I could have been wrong. He could be the nicest person in the world. It could have been all the agents, but I'm just saying. They ended up doing the movie with someone who's movie star, but it was her first movie, and she actually thanked me. She was like, thank you so much, I met my husband on the movie, like, crazy. But I was like, good for you. It was just, it wasn't meant to be, but I was so scared to go so far away and be completely like pummeled, because I allowed people to walk all over me. I still do sometimes, and I was just like, this is a bad sign, and my whole team were like, okay, let's just not do it. Yeah. I don't regret it. And that guy, I don't know. I think he got his placement in the credits.
I don't. I'm looking at my husband because I have no memory. I don't think I've ever quit. I don't think I've ever quit a job.
It's hard to quit a job when you're in a job, because then you're the quitter.
Yeah, like I feel like at this point too, like I would be in so many plays where like celebrities would pull out last minute, and I remember being like, "Oh, if I'm gonna do something, I gotta do it."
I'm not an actor, but a couple of summers ago, I auditioned for a role in Our Town in Phoenicia, and I auditioned for the stage manager, but they gave me like a line in scene one, in act one, and a line in act two, and a line in act three. And on the way up, I went to see some friends, and Ellen Burstyn was there. And I said, I have to go. I'm going to be in Our Town. And she said, Martha, you should quit. And I was like, what? I'm so offended, Ellen. I'm not a quitter. And she said, yeah, I've had to quit. It feels good. I went up. It was during COVID, so we were rehearsing outside. And I realized, it was 6 performances and 22 rehearsals. 22 rehearsals. And I kept like asking, wait, I have to be here for every act of every... And the director finally said, if you want to leave, you should leave. And this is how I left. Like, my car was over there, and I went... And I left. And I went back to Ellen Burstyn, and she was hysterical. She said, I knew this was not for you. And so, I don't know. If Ellen Burstyn could quit, we can quit.
Well, you didn't have all the information, so that's fair.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, Lessons on Becoming Myself, Ellen Burstyn's autobiography. Mwah, one of the best.
Exactly.
Highly recommend.
That's what I was saying. Okay, one more. The woman in white. Put your hand up, because it's going to be you. Thank you for waiting.
Hello. Okay, so I know both of you have done shoots in Canada, and I am from Canada. And so I just kind of want to hear about your thoughts of shooting there. What do you like? What do you not like? Just tell me your story.
Best cruise. Best cruise. Yeah.
Bad winters. Bad winters, best cruise.
Darkness. No, Vancouver is one of my favorite places of all time. You can just do, the weekends are just magical. You don't sit around on those weekends. And yeah, love it. I love people are so wonderful. So I always feel like I'm going home in some way when they're like Vancouver, Toronto. I'm like, right? I haven't done any of the middle sections. I hear those are bad. I hear two people I know. One's in Winnipeg and one's in Calgary right now, and they're both having a miserable experience. I don't think it's because it's Canada. I think it's because it's in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not saying that I'm only for the coasts in Canada. I think all of Canada is beautiful, from what I've seen.
Amanda Quaid calls all of Canada a flyover state.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
Sorry.
She's trying to backtrack now.
Anyway, I love it.
Canada.
I just wish I was Canadian.
We all wish we were Canadian, honey.
I know. Listen, there's still time.
I have to say, I think we're out of time. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much. This was really easy and fun. Thank you so much. Thank you both.